Boxing King Media in association with Boxro, Kevin Maree. We're out in Oldham. He put on a great show, a great main event. Two women fighting in the first ever Central Area title fight. How happy are you with how the event went to start off with?
Well, it was a brilliant event. I mean, we had a few issues during the week, medical issues. There's a lot of shows we're having at the moment, so we lost a few fights. So that was a worry. But we had a fantastic crowd here tonight, some amazing performances, and then the girls have just both done themselves proud and women's boxing proud. I think that was just a superb fight. You know, I think they both rose to the occasion. Everybody's got a different opinion of the result at the end, but Jade got it, and they're going to do it again. So we'll go again. But yeah, fair play to him. Full credit to women's boxing, and just to be honest, I'll say boxing because that was just a great fight, wasn't it?
It was, mate, and to be fair, it's rare that you find a boring women's fight these days, because every time the women fight, you know, they leave it all on the line, the 2-minute rounds as well. I think that probably helps. Just a quick one on the undercard. There were some really good fights in the undercard. Do you want to run through some of your prospects?
Callum Simpson, what can you say? I think everybody's come up to me tonight to ask me about Callum Simpson. There's just some boxers that have that X factor. The last time I had a buzz like this about a fighter of that sort of weight category was when Callum Smith was coming through, and he was like this beast who was blitzing everybody, and everyone was like, he's just a monster. And I'm having that same thing with Callum, where he's just, I mean, he's 12-4 tonight, he did that with ease. His opponent was heavier and he looked about 4 weight categories below him. Callum is just a dangerous fighter. He's got everything. I mean, he went out tonight, he didn't just go out reckless, he picked his shots, and that body shot, I mean, listen, I've probably sat ringside for I don't even know how many fights and how many things. That's probably the best body shot I've ever seen. You know, the whole venue went quiet when that body shot landed. It was like a gun went off, bang, and then everyone just sort of went quiet. And I don't know why the referee counted, because it was done. It was done. He's special. You know, he's got the whole package. He was a great amateur. I've known Callum since he was a young lad, and I said to him back then that, you know, I was going to manage him. I wasn't really going to go anywhere because I've followed him all the way through, and I think he's special. And he's going to be a world champion. If he doesn't win a world title, I'll give this game up 100%. He will be a world champion, and you won't meet a nicer lad, nicer family. I'm proud to manage him, to be honest. And then other lads on the undercard as well. Everyone rose to the occasion tonight. I was a bit sad for Michael Ramabaletsa. Didn't get the win. He's someone who I just love dearly. He's just a lovely lad. We have to have conversations now about where Michael goes now. Probably not right to say on this interview, but I think we need to have conversations about whether he boxes again. To be honest, I'd like to have a bit of a conversation with him about that. I think it's time to maybe go out on that one tonight, but we'll talk about that. And I thought the Jack Fay fight was a real tear-up. You know, that was a great fight. Again, could have gone either way. Jack's been out of the ring for a long time. He's a young lad. He was a good amateur, so we didn't want to match him too easy, and he's had an hard fight tonight. And again, doesn't lose anything from that. You know, he's got a great fight, a draw. Gained more fans because of it, gained a lot more experience, and he'll come again and he'll be a better fighter for that, rather than just keep feeding him journeyman. When they're these top amateurs, there's just no point. So had a good fight there tonight, and he'll come again. Just a great show. Everyone rose to the occasion, and we're really proud of all of them.
You definitely did match your prospects quite hard tonight. Brett Fido, there's no shame in losing to someone like Brett Fido, because he's got a lot of wins on the road.
Okay, I mean, I'll be totally honest with what happened with Michael Ramabaletsa tonight. Michael Ramabaletsa, I get close to all my fighters, you know, that's just how it is. And you know, Michael's someone I love it really dearly, and I don't know whether Michael's still got it. So he had the opportunity for a few title fights, and I said, I don't want to put you in a title fight until I see. If you do a 4-rounder and come through it, and you are what you're telling me you are in terms of still fresh and still ready, then I'll back you and we'll go again. But you have to get through this. So I'm not giving you a journeyman that you're going to win and then almost create a monster that we're going to have a false idea that you're ready for these guys, because these young prospects who are hungry and coming through, I'm not letting them beat Michael Ramabaletsa up. That's just not right. So I had to find out tonight where we were, and I knew the person to do that was Brett Fido. So if he came through this tonight and boxed really well and won and fantastic, then we'd look at something for him. But that would give us a lot of answers tonight now, and that's why we did that, because I'd rather it be 4 rounds against Brett Fido than 10 rounds against Hopi Price or somebody like that. And I think that's just fair and smart, and we'll have conversations with Mike, and maybe he has a few fights where he gets in and moves some prospects around for 4 rounds and earns a few quid and gets out of the game. But I don't know, I think it's unfair probably me talking about it here right now without having Mike next to me, but I think we need to have a chat about Mike and just make sure he's looked after, and that's paramount of what I do with all my fighters really. We make sure they're, you know, looked after outside of the ring, and we'll have conversations with him, and if that's the end of the journey, that's the end of the journey. But we'll look after him, and if he wants to work in Maree boxing, we'll find him a position. We'll keep him involved in the sport. We'll do something, but we've got to make sure that he's right, and he's an ambassador for the sport because he's such a lovely guy, the way he carries himself and the way he's been through all his career. So we'll look after him. So that was a sore one, but we needed them answers. But yeah, other than that, we had a few other. Joe Garside came through. I thought Jermaine Springer's first fight up at cruiserweight, I thought looked really strong. I was interested to see how he would have that transition from light heavyweight to cruiser. I thought he looked really strong, so maybe cruiserweight is right for him, and we'll keep him there and see how he goes. I think he now buzzed after that last fight. So of all the people who were on, I'm forgetting who was on first. Leon Williams, a fantastic performance. Kennedy, tough as nails. He went in there and won every round with Kennedy there, and Kennedy gave him a test. And he wasn't one of my lads, but I think he deserves a mention because we put him on the bill tonight late, and Colin Moore, I thought, boxed really well against Van Pooch, and we'd welcome him on the show again. If he wants to come on again, we'd welcome him on.
Well, credit to you in regards to what you said about Ramboletta, because a lot of managers may look at that and think, right, I could make some money out of him, but respect to you for giving him a tough opponent tonight to see what he's got, and obviously got your answers. With regards to Jack Fay, what a fight. It was really entertaining. And Lewis Palmer don't mess about, and he's had 2 fights against a good prospect, which some people are saying he could have won both. So how about Lewis Palmer and Callum Simpson? That would be a bit of a test for him, even though he's only had 3 fights.
Yeah, listen, the problem with Callum Smith is a lot of people hung around to watch that performance tonight now, so after seeing that, will I get him in the ring? It's probably going to cost me a few quid, so yeah, it would be great. I mean, I think the only thing with Callum that's shocking a lot of people is like Mally right there was probably, I think he was 13-10 tonight, and Callum's 12-4, whereas Callum, if you put him next to Mally, he looks a lot bigger because he's just a freak in the nicest possible way. So yeah, we would take that fight, but I think with a weight difference, I think they'd probably swerve that rightly. So I think he's going to be a real handful. I mean, he had the 2 fights against Miller. I was at the first one, and I thought he probably nicked it. The second one, I watched it, and it was close. Every round was close. Whether he won it or not, and I don't know, because every round was close. But the first one, I thought he won it. He's far better than his record, and I warned Jack that tonight. He's far better than his record. It's going to be over 4 rounds. It's going to be a shootout. You've got to be ready for it, but I'm not feeding Jack a journeyman, because you've got to know your fight, you've got to know personalities. If you give Jack too easy a ride, you've got this young lad who's going to go out and think it's easy, not put the work in, not put the training in, gets dragged off to the pub with his mates because he thinks that he can just turn up and win. You've got to show Jack this sport is not that easy when he's a young lad like that who can be easily influenced. So tonight now, he knows he's got to be ready. This guy, without a win in his record, has come in and done that. You've got to be ready, and Jack will have got a real warning tonight, and I think this will kick Jack on to be a much better fighter than feeding him 5 journeymen who throw themselves on the floor in the first round and create a monster. You've got to know your fighters, the personalities, what they're up to in their lives and things like that. So that's why I matched Jack, relatively hard tonight.
Well, credit to you on that as well, because I did speak to Jack after the fight, and I said to him, one of the things that stood out to me was it's very rare that you see guys at that sort of weight throw that many punches over 4 rounds, and I said you probably never do that again for a good few fights.
Absolutely, that was, I mean, they just went at it, didn't they? They just went at it. I think, Jack was physically the stronger in there, but I think Palmer just looked a lot looser for a bit, and that's probably because Palmer's had a couple of recent fights, so he's just a bit sharper. Jack shook off a good bit of ring rust tonight, and I expect a much better Jack in his next performance. But these fights, I mean, I think some prospects sometimes, they have these 10-0 journeymen, and they come up with someone who's going to throw hands back, and they start freaking out and panicking. So it's nothing wrong with giving him a little test like that. He's not going to, even if he'd have lost tonight. I mean, I thought he might have nicked it tonight, and he got a draw. He's a 10 times better fighter for that tonight, and we might give him an easier one next time and then go again, but I think that's what you've got to do with these prospects now, because you can create monsters, and then when they do get a fight back, it's like, what's happening? The whole world falls apart. So we all need to find out where we're at, and that tonight will have done Jack a massive favour.
I do like that style of management, Kevin, and it is a good way of bringing prospects through. Risky, but good, because obviously, like you said, you're not going to create a monster. What's next for Maree boxing?
Well, I mean,
apart from answering phone calls about Callum Simpson.
Yeah, I think everyone who's stopped me as I walk through tonight has been about Callum Simpson. I think we're all biased, but I think we've got the best stable in the country. I mean, our next show now will go on to April the 30th on a Fight Zone show, and we've got Jack Massey defending his world title, and we've got 10 other prospects on there. I can't wait to get out. Carmen will be out again on there. Billy Denise and Michael Gomez Jr. will be back out again. We've got 10 fantastic fighters on that bill, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's not my show, so I can relax a bit more that night and sit back and enjoy them and look after them and enjoy that night. So we go there next, but we just keep building. We don't well, as you've already said before we started doing this, I don't do many of these. We just go about our business, you know, and we look after our fighters, and we just quietly go about our business and just do what we do. We don't scream and shout from the rooftops or advertise or do too many of these. You know, you've caught me off guard tonight, and I'm happy to do it for you, and thank you for asking me. But we just go about our business, look after our fighters, do things right, do things honest, and I think that's why we've got the biggest stable in the country, and I think the best stable in the country, because we just do things right.
Well, you sure do, mate. It's a pleasure coming to your show, and my first time in Oldham, so appreciate it and see you next time round.
Definitely, thank you for coming, and hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.